I think I've figured it out. Well, hello and welcome back to the Tequila Hour. My name is Amanda. It is 3:03 p.m. Sunday, the 23rd of June, 2024 in Australia, New South Wales. The secret location, the Forge. You know where the Forge is? I was going to say, is there another word? Anyway, there's no other word that comes to mind. Let's just get into it. So, first, let's do a little bit of admin. Let me just give you, a running sheet of what today's podcast will be. Shall I? Yeah. Sunday, fun day. No. You may have figured out what this podcast is going to be about today. I am, really excited to bring my thoughts and feelings around this particular subject to you in light of a couple of things. I did a sneaky podcast, which you may have not listened to. I did that at the Hilton during the week, which was Wednesday, just gone. And thank you to those who actually did download the sneaky podcast. Thank you. And in that podcast, I'll speak in a second. I touched on a particular subject, and I have touched on this subject before. And for some reason, I need to kind of bring it all together and close it off. And I did say in my podcast on Wednesday that there was a particular book that I was going to refer to in reference to the topic that I want to discuss today. So, first of all, let's just take a step back. Just take a step back, bitch. Take a step back and let's do a little bit of admin first. Indeed, bam. And I'm back. And admin, you'd be like, Amanda, and look, you all know my love of admin. Okay, we don't, is it, I was going to say, is it sexual? No, it's not sexual at all. I love admin, okay? I just like order. I don't know where they came from. Anyway, let's just not talk about that. Let's just talk about a little bit of admin and then let's get into the podcast. Number one, yes, you might have figured out by the fact that I'm thinking about sex that I've had a drink. Today I'm drinking gin. It is Roku, I think, or Roju, I don't know. It's Japanese gin. It's actually really nice. Very clean. No, it's not tequila. I think I've decided, no, actually I haven't, I don't think, I know. I've decided that when I reach a particular target, which I'm very close to, I'm not going to tell you, target is for me to know, not for you not to know, that once I reach this target, I will buy this particular drink, and it is a tequila-based drink, okay? It is tequila. If you know me, you may figure it out. If you've played along all this time, you might figure out the type or brand of tequila that I'm going to buy to celebrate this milestone. Okay. Very close. So I'm super excited. And when I get to that milestone, I'll be podcasting from the rooftops to let you know what that milestone is for me. And yeah, it's very close. So very excited about that. So no, not drinking tequila, even though it is the tequila hour, yada, yada, blah, blah. We all know this. We all know this is the drill. This is what I do. No, it's gin. It's a Japanese gin. I'll put in the description of this podcast. It's very nice. It's very clean. Now, you'd be like, isn't all alcohol clean? No, it's not. When I say to you that, especially with drinks that can, I don't know. Look, a drink's good. I don't even know how I'm going to describe this to you. A drink is good when you can take a shot, okay? Take a shot of it and it doesn't burn. Well, you might like that actually. Sometimes that's actually good. When it doesn't burn the shit house out of your throat when you do a little nip. Yes, the gin is very clean. It's very refreshing. It's very nice. I am drinking it with sugar-free mango solo flavour, which you may recall. Did I have that on Wednesday? No, I don't know. What did I have? Anyway, who cares? You'd be like, shut up, Amanda. No, I've had that, what do you call it? I was going to say ailment. That's the wrong word again. I've had that compliment to a gin previously, as in the sugar-free solo and mango flavour. I'll get there eventually. Very nice, very enjoyable. I've had a few. Apparently I've got sexual things on my mind. It's all a thing. It's a thing. Anyway, when this podcast is not about sexual things today. I need to stop. So, okay, you've worked out I've had a couple of drinks. I'm not inebriated, even though I can't say that word, but I've had a few. It's Sunday. Let me just calm the farm. Today, it's been a funny day. It's been kind of sunny. It's been kind of cloudy. It's been both at the same time. As I sit here looking at the time on my trusty Asus laptop computer, it is now 3:09 p.m. And yeah, the day is quickly getting away from us, and looking forward to smashing out the podcast, talking about the subject I want to talk about today. As I touch the microphone, you might hear that. And finally, yeah, just relaxing and spending some time with my husband and just chillaxing because it's Sunday. So for those who are playing along and listening, I hope you're having a good weekend as well, or moving into the weekend. For my listeners who are in America, moving into the weekend, which is very exciting. And let's just get into it. Yep. And we're into it right now. I know. This is very... Oh, should I get serious? Let's break it down. Oh, that was fucking loud. Sorry. Getting serious. Sorry, by the way. That's a lot of build-up. A lot of build-up For the topic of discussion today, what am I talking about? I am bringing you part 2 of Ascension. Now, I've done a podcast previously, not that long ago. Let me just bring you into my sphere of consciousness. I did a podcast. Oh, geez, that was beautiful. Communication language. Anyway, sorry. Unlocking Ascension Part 1. I did that first Part 1 on the 2nd of June this year. I actually round it out and do the second part and close the door. I'm talking about Unlocking Ascension today. On Wednesday, I referenced a book, and I'll go into that book in a second. And I also referenced the fact that a lot of you've probably read this book or might know of this book or might even know of the author and the book and all the above. I might also say to you that it is apt that if you want to round or encompass, mate, I'm getting fancy today. If you want to encompass some podcasts that I've done previously where I've talked about this topic, and when I talk about ascension and what that means, and let me just do it right now in case you don't know what that word means. If you're listening to this podcast for the very first time, hello. My name is Amanda. This is the Tequila Hour. Basically, someone asked me this the other day when I was at the Hilton, actually. Yeah, I'm getting distracted by my own shit. The other day when I was checking in, no, I'd already checked in. It was the afternoon. I don't know, it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had to pick up my key for my room. And I've seen it before. I don't know her name, and I apologise because she had a name tag and I can't think of her name. But anyway, she has a very, I don't know, I'm thinking Colombian. I could be wrong, but she has a very thick accent. That doesn't matter. She's attractive. And she asked me, I think I said something about that I was doing a podcast or something, oh, that's right. Let me step back. She asked me to confirm my email address, and I said my email address, which is info@thetequilahour.com.au. Hi. And she's like, what is that? And I said, it's my podcast. And then she's like, you have a podcast? I'm like, yes. Anyway, we had a conversation. And it's amazing when then people go, well, what's your podcast about? Like, what do you talk about? And when you say the Tequila Hours up, I can only assume what people straight away, because that's what we do as human beings. We assume. And when I say to you, no, it's not just about tequila at all, or that I'm drinking. This podcast is, and I've mentioned this is my place where I just talk about topics. I talk about lots of things. Interesting, riveting, exciting topics that stimulate my mind. I talk about my mental health. I talk about makeup. I talk about skincare. I talk about the topic that I'm going to talk about today, which is Ascension. There's so much I talk about. And could I just wrap it up into a tidy bow for you and say, this is what my podcast is about? No. What it really is, it's just me having a chat. Could you treat it like a personal diary? Yes, you probably could. Could I say to you that most people would be like, what are you saying that's so interesting that I want to listen to your podcast? And that's probably where I'm leading into. What does it matter? Does it matter? I don't think it does. I encourage you, if you're listening, and I encourage all. For me, I'm going to break it down. This, and I've mentioned this, and I'm repeating myself. That's what I do quite a lot if you're playing along. that just follow your dreams. I'm not going to get into it any more than that right now. Just for me, this is it. And if you have something that is your it, then go for it. And yeah, if you want to join me on my it, I'd love to have you. So, Ascension. What is the meaning of Ascension? The formal meaning is the process of rising to a position of higher importance, rank, or success. The Ascension, in the reference to the English language, is the process of, it apparently is that Cambridge Dictionary is the process of rising to a position of power, basically. I don't know, if you're into self-development, I mean, that's just Google. That's a Google search and that's the meaning. When most people, if you're into self-development like myself, when I say Ascension, I'm referencing self-development. I'm referencing, I don't know, working on your thought processes, working on how you managing stress, working on topics that relate to mindfulness, that relate to meditation, that relate to self-awareness, self-development. When I talk about Ascension, I would say to you that, which I've touched on in the past, I was at point A and now I'm at point C. And when I say to you that line is not just a straight horizontal line and it's not just completely linear, I would say to you that my own ascension, and I will reference the book that I'm going to reference today, and I can reference other books moving forward, it is a process of self-discovery of oneself. Full stop. For me, ascension, may that be that you're at point A, or you might be, I don't know, if you want to go backwards and you're at point Z and you want to get to point A, then it's a exploration. Yeah, that's a good word. Exploration of oneself in reference to what your self-development is to you. May that be that you want to go through a process of self-development to then work out what your goals are. May that be that you want to go on a journey of self-development because you want to, I don't know, find your dream job. May that be that you just want to find yourself. That's what I think I'm leaning towards today. And I have mentioned that when I talk about self-development, I am very mindful and conscious and aware that it is something that through the circumstances at a certain place, I'm not going to go into it, at a certain place in time, I really then had to go, what do I want? Now, this could be because I was at a certain place in time, at a certain place. Yes, I would acknowledge that is the reason, part of it, the reason why. I also acknowledge that it's very likely because of my age, and I'm 51, by the way, that I've come to a place where now I'm been through a whole lot of shit and then gone, well, where has that shit got me? So it's that kind of rounding out of a journey or challenges that you go, okay, I'm going to examine all this in its entirety and where do I sit with that? So there's that component, if you want to call it that as well. For me, it is something where when I want to refer it to back, I actually want to refer it back to mental health, actually. That's really probably the axis. Geez, I'm coming up with some shit today. So I'm going to drink break. It's actually not shit. It's just, I've touched on this before. The art of language is, the art of communication and the art of language, and just, we have, as humans, created some mind-blowing, glorious words. So use them. Fucking use them, all right? I encourage you all. No, yeah, so if I want to take a synopsis, it's all coming out. If I want to take a snapshot, this is better than synopsis, of where I am right now, and yes, I know I'm in the forge, in the secret location. If I was to say that I've really had to, due to some circumstances, really examine who I am and how I deal with shit. I'm going to get straight into it. How I deal with shit. That's what I've done in the past couple of years. And when I say to you at times it's actually been very difficult, when I say it's been very challenging mentally, because I am someone who's mentally challenged in a way, that I'm really at a place now that even though at times I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? It's actually shown me the power of the mind. It's showing me control and what I actually can control in reference to my mind. And along this journey, I've read some really fascinating books. And I probably should one day give you a complete breakdown of my mental health journey so that you actually have an understanding of where I'm coming from. Because most people be like, oh, okay, you've dealt with some shit. Yeah, I've dealt with some shit. I really have dealt with some shit. And I actually don't now give a shit about the shit. I'm now at a place where, through the course of the last couple of years, where I've actually really deep dived into some of these things, that I can confidently sit here today and say to you that I don't care about it anymore, actually. And that's why I'm talking about Ascension. And you'd be like, how do you not care? I'm sure if I was to sit, or if I'm having a shit day, or I don't know, if I feel sad on a particular day, if I let my mind go there, and my mind will do that, and everyone's mind does that. If you want to go to a place where you ruminate on all the shit that you've gone through, it's easy to do. But if I was to say to you that, why are you doing that to yourself? And these are some of the things where I've actually learned over the last couple of years. By the way, just letting you know. And I said, as I sit here in the forge, there's a guy just walked past who was walking a dog and he had a man bun. I don't know why I have to tell you that, but he looked kind of hot. So anyway, yeah. Just telling you, sharing is caring, all right. I'm going to have a quick drink of I'm also drinking, apart from gin, which is now gone, I'm drinking a Monster. So, that was again. I might actually stop it here because I'm going to actually grab another drink. Give me a second. And I'm back. Turn the volume down. It's really loud. Yep, I grabbed another gin, the last of the Roku, by the way. I also grabbed a little snack, which was a mild salami stick with cheese. And I also grabbed another drink, which is back up, which is a Jack Daniel's sugar-free can. I know, gin to Jack could be interesting. We'll see how we go. Anyway, getting back into it. Ascension. Now, I don't know, if you're not into, actually I do know, if you're not into the topic of self-development, you'd probably have already tuned out. You probably have. If you are someone who is interested in knowing someone else's personal journey around the topics of self-development, then I implore you to keep listening. And these are topics that, I don't know, for me, everyone should explore. For me, it's been eye-opening. It's been interesting, intriguing, exciting, scary. It's not just me reading books and not just meditating. It's me going to see a psychologist for a period of time. It's me just sitting on shit and thinking about it. It's me actually working on my thought processes and how I think about certain topics and ideals and, lots of good shit around that. And having to go, you know what, Amanda? This is not working for you. Not working you. It was working. Yeah, that's what actually, that's good. I'm glad I actually fucked up there. Yeah, it was working me. It wasn't working for me. And it's not until you still yourself or check yourself and then really ponder and analyze or acknowledge, and both, some of the thought process that you have around certain things, that you have then in certain enlightenment around where you want to go and what you want. And I know this sounds really, I'm going to say it anyway, and I don't really give a fuck, that when people say you only have one life, and how do you want to be and how do you want to live your life and what do you want out of your life? And this is where I'm talking about when it's probably highlighted more because now I'm 51 and I've gone, well, what the fuck do I want out of my life? And where am I going with all of this? And what am I working for? And what am I spending my money on? And what are my aspirations and goals? And what do I want to do? And these are things through the flow and movement of time that probably get highlighted more when you're older because you realise that time is gone and you're not going to get that time back, and you kind of go to yourself, well, look, I'm fucking 51 and let's go there, because before you know it, you're going to be 70, hopefully, and, well, I will be, and you're like, why didn't I explore these things earlier? Or why didn't I acknowledge or analyse these things earlier? So, there could be many particular touch points to explain the reasoning behind my own self-analysis and self-discovery and leading into the topic of ascension. For me, it's really probably in the last, not probably, it really is in the last, I don't know, year to 6 months, if I want to break it down a little bit further into a capsule of time where something's clicked. And I don't know if it's because I've really just had to be really, and I keep saying this, mindful, and it's a word that might be repeated again and again, but it is. For me, it is being mindful and checking myself to stop a particular process of thought and change it and replace it with another. Because I have now discovered, and it's always been there, these things are not there. And this is another thing I've learned. They're always there. Your ideals and your passions and what you want to create in your life and what you want out of your life, they're always there. We choose to ignore them because, We're too fat. We're too thin. We're not pretty enough. We're not talented enough. We're not educated enough. We don't know. We're scared. We feel guilty. We feel disembobulated. Love that word. Language. Mate, if I had a man come up to me and just started sprouting some phenomenal words, I'm not saying that my husband doesn't, but what I'm saying is if a random man just came up to me and started talking to me eloquently about the day in words that you just never hear, I don't know what I'd do for that man. Anyway, sorry. Yes, I know. Just go back to listening at the start and yeah. If you know, you know. Anyway, yes. It is one of those things that I think for all of us as human beings, look, I could be incorrect here. There's a whole majority of people who just trying to keep their shit tight and get through their life. I acknowledge that. But for most people who live in a decent society and have a job and have some money and have a family and have children or don't have children or have had something where they've had a reasonable, decent or even if it was challenging, they now can sit in a spot in their timeline of their existence where they go, you know what? I really want to play the drums. Why haven't I? I'm saying that because I've got electric drums in front of me. Yeah, you finally get a chance to go, mate, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? And we all, as humans, because we can't just sit in the ordinary, if you've got some sort of intelligence at all, then you don't just sit in the ordinary, you want more. May that be, and unfortunately it's more is normally associated with material objects, and that is what it is. I love material shit. I talk about it a lot, so I'm not going to say to you that to stop loving, buying ridiculously priced perfume, it's going to end. No, it's not. What I'm saying, though, is that you get to a time where you just go, yeah, what am I doing? And that voice or that inclination of thought is always there. It's just finally you get to a time, like I said, the timeline of your life where you're like, you want to examine it. Now, I don't know if that's a time thing or if I was to look back, I wasn't having these thought processes at 21. I can tell you that very clearly. I was not. I was not. And why would I? I had other shit going on. So it probably is, life experience where you've gone through some shit and then come out the other side and gone, okay, where am I going here? I want to say to you that if this is a subject that does interest you, then love you to come along with me. So I'm going to have a quick sip of my drink. Drink break. Who was loving the Sennheiser microphone Wednesday podcast? I was loving it. Handheld microphone. I'm telling you right now, I'm inspired. I am on the mindful discovery. I was going to say hunt. That word, I don't know. Does that sound weird to you? Does the word hunt sound very close to another word? And you kind of like, when you say it, like, kind of sounds like the other word with a C, but you're saying hunt? I don't know. Anyway, could be just me. Could be just me. Anyway, when I say to you that, sorry, I thought someone was coming my door. No, they weren't. When I say to you that I've lost my train of thought, I have a quick sip of my Monster as well. Drink break. Oh, ASMR, baby. Yes, I am looking at a new microphone. This is the shit for me. The Rode pod mic and Rode. You know. And I know that you know that I know. So I'm telling you right now that, yeah, I'm buying another microphone and it's not a Rode one. So no. Anyway, enjoy the Sennheiser. Today I'm the Rode pod mic. Doesn't matter. What I want to talk about today is the book. Now, I did allude to this in Wednesday just gone podcast. And that was looking at my little trusty calendar, was Wednesday the 19th. I talked about a book that I recently read and I haven't finished. And yes, guess what? I haven't completely finished it. I didn't get there before this podcast today. I'm still going to talk about it because it does align with the subject of Ascension. And then I actually want to touch on something that happened last night, believe it or not. And yeah, let's see where this podcast go. So the book that I referred to was Breaking the Habit of Being, I'm going to start again because I feel like I've lost my line. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One, by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Now, I'll stop there before I read this because I've actually created something here. He is a chiropractor, from my understanding. He's not a medical doctor in the sense of a GP. I know people have issues with this. Who cares? For anyone who's been through any sort of like higher learning, are we just talking about semantics? I think we are. So, by Dr. Joe Dispenza delves into the intricate relationship. Sorry, I was just getting distracted by my own thoughts there and about voice control. Sorry. Joe Dispenza delves into the intricate relationship between quantum physics, neuroscience, brain chemistry, biology, and genetics to show readers how they can change their reality by changing their thoughts. The book provides a compelling argument that our personalities are essentially just a collection of habits, thoughts, and emotions that we can change if we know how. Dispenza begins by exploring the science behind our thoughts and how they shape our lives. He describes how the brain is a powerful organ that can be rewired through neuroplasticity. There's another beautiful word. Fuck me. I'd fuck that shit. Essentially, the way we think and feel can create neural pathways that reinforce our habitual behaviours. These pathways become our default modes of thinking and acting. When we repeatedly think the same thoughts, make the same choices, and experience the same emotions, we hardwire ourselves into a specific state of being. This process is what keeps us stuck in our current reality. To break free from this cycle, Dispenza encourages readers to embrace the idea that their personality, which includes their habitual thoughts, behaviours, and emotional responses, is not set in stone. By understanding their personality is changeable, individuals can start to create a new reality for themselves. The first step in this transformation is to become aware of the unconscious, the thoughts that drive our behaviour. Beep, beep. Yeah. Dispenza suggests that most of our thoughts, I'll get there, are repetitive and negative, and these thoughts are often what keep us from achieving our goals. By bringing these unconscious thoughts to the surface and examining them, we can start to change them. Dispenza Dispenza also emphasizes that's hard, the importance of meditation in the process of transformation. Meditation helps us to quiet the mind and allows individuals to access the subconscious where these deeply ingrained habits and beliefs reside. Through meditation, people can start to break the habit of being themselves by rewiring their brains to think new thoughts and feel new emotions. One of the key techniques Dispenza introduces the concept of mental rehearsal. This involves visualizing a desired outcome in great detail and feeling the emotions associated with that outcome. By doing this regularly, individuals can start to reprogram their brains to believe that this new reality is possible. This technique is based on the principle that the brain does not distinguish between real experience and vividly imagined one. Therefore, by consistently visualizing and emotionally experiencing a desired outcome, the brain starts to create a new neural pathways that support this new reality. Dispenza also talks about the importance of living in the present moment. He argues that many of us are either living in the past, you know about it, replaying old memories and reinforcing old neural pathways, or in the future worrying about what might happen. Yes. By focusing on the present moment and being mindful of our thoughts and emotions, we can create new neural pathways that support our desired reality. This book provides practical exercises and guided meditations, which it does, to help readers apply concepts in their own lives. These exercises are designed to help individuals become aware of their unconscious thoughts, visualize their desired outcomes, and practice living in the present moment. Dispenza also shares numerous stories of people who have successfully used these techniques to transform their lives. These stories serve as powerful testimonials to the effectiveness of his methods and provide inspiration for readers who are looking to make similar changes in their own lives. In conclusion, yes, thank you. I'm concluding. Breaking the habit of being yourself offers a unique blend of science and spirituality to help readers understand how they can change their reality by changing their thoughts. By becoming aware of their unconscious, by the way, thoughts, practicing mental rehearsal, living in the present moment, and using meditation to rewire their brains, individuals can break free from their habitual ways of thinking and create a new reality for themselves. The book provides a comprehensive guide to personal transformation, offering practical tools and techniques that anyone can use to change their life. Yes. And drop the mic. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. When I say to you that if I was to break it down even further from the conclusion I've just made for you, he talks about quantum energy. He talks about entanglement. He talks about the concept that we are shaped by certain thoughts, may that be our own genetics plus our environment, which we all, if you at all have sought any assistance from a psychologist or psychiatrist, these are not things that would be unbeknown to you. When I say to you that we have our own thought processes, what he's kind of saying is that it's not even about cognitive behavioural therapy, which I'm not going to go into in its entirety today, but I have discussed before, that he is saying that there is an energy and a presence that you can, as an individual, acknowledge what your personal thoughts around a particular subject may then be, I don't know, let's talk about pain, okay, because that's even more complex actually. If I was to say to you that, let's use me as an example, I had a total hip replacement on my left hip. I had other things that encompass that surgery. When I say to you that it's now 2024 and I had the surgery in 2016, I believe, I still have pain in my left hip. Now, you know, I'm not going to compare it to someone who's lost a limb, but what I will say to you is it's just in my mind. The pain is in my mind. When I say to you that, yes, it might be where there are certain muscles and groups of muscles that need to be strengthened around my total hip area, which could relay certain nerve endings. I know I'm getting very deep in the weeds here. But what I'm saying to you is that for a period of time, if you want to break it down, I had bone on bone, okay? My hip joint was in the socket, was on rubbing directly onto bone on bone. It was very painful. I was in pain, let alone having a total tear of my gluteus medius, completely off the bone. I was in a lot of pain. May I say to you, I've had a total hip replacement. I've had rehabilitation. I've gone through all that. And I can say to you confidently right now, I still have pain in my hip. When I say to you that hip pain is actually not there, it's in my mind, then it's actually in my mind. Now, when I say to you that your mind is the greatest supercomputer that's ever been in existence, then it is. When I say to you that you are in control of your thoughts, because a thought is a thought, it's not just is, it is. Now, for anyone who's had any psychoanalysis in their life, you'd understand what I'm putting down, okay? For someone who hasn't, then you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm saying to you, I'm not just talking about, look, I want to eat a Snickers bar and, I'm going to buy one because I'm kind of craving some sugar. What I'm saying to you is that we all have very aligned, deep thought processes through our environment, through our genetics, through our upbringing, through our life experiences that then, as we're going to bring you all the way up to today, which is the 23rd of June, all that encompassed into one, I challenge you that your thoughts are just thoughts and you are in control of them. And most people would understand, and a lot of people would go, well, sometimes you just aren't. In the end, you are. And that's not an easy thing to say, and it's not sometimes a thing you want to hear. If you're someone who's dealt with depression or anxiety, if you have a mental health disorder, which, like, if I want to say bipolar and schizophrenia come to mind, I'm not going to say to you that these conversations would relate to you because you have a very clear psychological disorder which is relating to a chemical imbalance. It's very different to being able to actually acknowledge and control your thought processes. I'm sure some of these things would assist someone who has these types of disorders. What I'm saying to you right now, and I'm not a doctor, so let's just keep it real as I have a sip of my Monster. Let's keep it real. Drink break. I'm not a doctor, but I would say to you, and I will say sincerely, hand on heart, and I actually have my hand on my heart, that I have been through a lot of mental health enlightenments and challenges in my life. And I can say to you as a person that if I just want to not encompass my entire life, because I'm not looking back anymore. I've made that shift. I'm purposely saying to myself, I'm not looking back on anymore on that. It happened, but it's not reality anymore. It is what it is. If I was to say to you that today at the 23rd of June at 3:57 p.m. in Australia, in New South Wales, in the secret location, I actually do have control of my thoughts. Now, yes, there are times because of stress and anguish and pain and grief and anger and hurt and suffering that we mightn't feel as controlled of our controllable thoughts. I agree with that. What I'm saying to you, though, is you actually do. And I've always known this, and in the sense of I've had a lot of psychotherapy in my life. But when I say to you that certain things now that I really had to replace certain thought processes in my mind to go, no, that's not right. No, just no, and replace it with let them, or thank you, Mel Robbins, let them, or no, it's not true, or whatever works for you. When I say to you breaking the habit of yourself, may that be a word or a sequence of words, or may that be replacing a thought with thinking of unicorns and baby deer, I don't know. Whatever works for you. I'm saying to you right now, it works. And it's annoying because I know it's annoying because these are not easy things, because our minds are so complex and varied, and they want to fuck you up the ass, basically. Yeah, your thoughts want to fuck you up the ass. They can serve you and encourage you and help you and guide you. They also can fuck you up the ass, make you stagnant. Yeah, I'm coming up with great words today. Thank you. Stagnant. They can make you question fucking everything. They can make you frozen. They can make you freeze. They can make you not believe in yourself. They can make you think everyone's talking about you. They can make you think you're not enough. They can make you think that you're not worthy of this, or whatever that is for you. It's hard. These are hard thoughts to then process and to examine, to question, and to change and replace with you are worthy. Let go of it. Just let go. Who cares? So they're talking about you. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, that person isn't supporting me. Why am I doing all this for this person when they don't support me? They don't love me. They don't care about me. I love myself. I love myself. I am important. I exist. I don't need anybody else. What I need is people who see me and support me. Just to sprinkle some of the things that just come to mind. So for me, this book, it touched on a couple of things. It was very in line with cognitive behavioural therapy, which challenges you. And like I said, I'm not going to go into it in its full synopsis today, but it really looks at how you think about something and rewiring that thought process in simple terms. And it's not simple at all, actually, especially if you've thought a certain way your entire life. So just put that in perspective. This book talks on these subjects, but what it does, it lines them into energy, quantum energy. And I think this is beautiful. It talks about the fact that as people that live in the world, we all have energy emanating from us. Everything around us, every single fucking object emits an energy sequence. Do I need to go into this in its entirety? No. I have touched on quantum entanglement in the past. I think this is a beautiful subject. I don't know why I think it is. I just think it is. It is a beautiful thought and concept to believe in. That and it's true, it's not just to believe in, but it is science, that we emanate energy. Your partner, your friend, your mother, your father, your children emanate energy. That your thought processes emanate energy. We're all intertwined. If I was to then say to you that, I don't know, you constantly thought the world was against you and you hated the world and everyone is shit and your husband's shit and the world is shit, then it's all going to be shit. What I would challenge you though is, and this is hard because if you've had that thought process all your life and had a more negative outlook to your life due to the circumstances of your life, I understand that completely. What I would say to you though is, do you want to live in that for the rest of your life? And this is what the ideal of Ascension, and I'm going to talk about this further on down the track, surrendering. And these are topics that for anyone who is on a journey of self-development and wanting to learn more about themselves and how they think and feel, then you'd understand what I'm putting down today. I would say to you that this energy, if you think about that, if I give the example of, I don't know, you're a mum and your children are running around and they're being little shits and they're being annoying and they're just a pain in the ass and they're angry and they're tired and all the rest of it, and then you're tired and you know what that feels like. This is not, I mean, I do. I don't know, maybe you need to stop and just check yourself. We all know what that feels like. It's not just them being little shits and you being angry and just wanting them to shut up or fucking, I don't know. I have a thought, but I'm not going to say that because that's going too far. But if I was to say to you that you know what that energy exchange is, you know in a physical sense what that feels like when your children are being shit and then you're trying to keep your shit together and you're getting frustrated and angry and or you just want to cry and just hide in your room and become a human ball, then you know what that feels like. It's not just a feeling. It's actually physical in your body, that feeling. And this is what this book highlights, is that energy that flows between everything. And that energy and that thought and feeling can be changed. So you can stay in that, I know, energy state of being, like I'm in the ball and I'm just going to just close my eyes and just pretend that, I'm living in an alternate universe. Or you can say, this is what I want to happen, and wholeheartedly believe that and become that and exert that energy out, and that your children will then feel that energy and then change. And you'd be like, really, Amanda, are you talking out of your ass? And I would say to you and challenge you, not crickets, drink break. Is that really loud, or is that? Yeah, that's really that's really loud, yes. Oh, the gin's really nice. Yeah, I challenge you all, if you know what I'm putting down, you cannot tell me that any given time, I'm putting out there right now, that you can't tell me at any given time in your life that you haven't felt a certain way and you've projected a certain way and you've felt what that feels like in your body. And then, okay, let's use the example of you with a group of people. You're having a shitty day. You feel like shit. You want everyone to die. I don't know. Extreme. Well, yes, in your mind, you're thinking of just stabbing people. Okay? No, this just a thought, all right? I'm not, just get a grip. You, in your mind, are thinking, I just want to stab that person in the eye. Okay? And then you're thinking it. All right? You hate everyone. You're having a shit day. You're angry. You're emotional. You might, in your physicality, feel tightness. Your tummy might ache. You might be sweaty. You might want to cry. You might feel very tense. You might want to grab inanimate objects for some random reason that not a knife but kind of look like one. I know, all these things. When I say to you that you have the ability to stop that, because I can say to you right now, we've all been in that situation, or most people have, where you want to stab someone in the eye, or you want to stab someone, where you're so angry or just that you feel it in your physicality and it projects out, and everyone else, they're just having a good day. Let's just say you're in a group of 5 people and you're having the worst day ever and you want to kill everyone, all right? And you then realize that everyone else doesn't feel the way that you do, right? So you're in a group of 5. The 4 other people, they're happy and, I know, the sun's shining and there's rainbow and unicorns and they've just had a piece of cake and ice cream and they're loving life. I don't know. When I say to you, your mood and your energy will undoubtedly affect those people. It does. I've seen it. You know this to be true. So why is it completely unreasonable when we propose the topics of this book, which is the breaking the habit of being yourself, when we talk about quantum entanglement, we know this to be true. So Joe Dispenza is proposing that not only that you know this to be true, but then you can project forward. So to say that, let's use this as an example, my podcast. This is everything, not everything, but is part of everything, that I project it to be what I project to be a successful podcast. What that looks like in my mind. Not only that I think about that and what that looks like, but it's already happened and it is right now a reality in my mind. And therefore, because I'm putting that energy out, it happens because I've created it. How can you not be fascinated by that? How can you not be inspired by that? That's what it is. I think it's inspiration. It's hope. That's probably what it is. It's hope. Sorry, I'm looking at it. Who's that? There's a car on the other side of the road. It's hope, isn't it? It's excitement. It's thinking that's more than there is. It's discovering more than there is. Yeah, it's hope, actually. It's actually about hope. When I think about it now, it's about hope. And it's that you're not just alone in all this shit, but also that you can influence this shit. And that's a beautiful thing, really, when you think about it. You're not just, and these are again, you might have heard this, that you're not just a passenger in the car of existence riding along the road of life, and then, shit happens and you have no control because you're not the driver in the driving seat, and you just got to take it for what it is and let it happen. No. Yes, there is times when, I'm not going to lie, I felt like that. But in the end, and when I come back to what I'm saying about that real sense of having to work on this shit, because I think we all know this shit is there, but then actually listening and then taking the time to go, well, how does that relate to me? This is what I'm talking about. And I can say to you, look, I think I mentioned this on Wednesday as well. I'm not going to say to you that I'm now Yoda and I've got my shit together. I have a quick drink. Drink break. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say to you that hand on heart, I've suddenly got my shit together because I've checked myself before I wrecked myself for the past 2 years. No, it's not true. I haven't. But does that matter? Do I need to have all my shit together? No, because I'm still going along in the car of life. Yeah, we're in a car. Hopefully a Porsche 911 orange. Anyway, no. What I'm saying is, yeah, it's a life thing, okay? You're not going to have all your shit together all at once. I mean, you might if you're like super awesome or super hardworking. Does it matter? No. Someone who gets their shit together in 5 minutes, does that matter if you do against someone who gets their shit together in 5 years? Does it? No. In the end, no, because in the end, each person gets to the destination they want to. They just get to it in their own time. Is there having to be a time limit on this? No. Who says there is? Do you even have to get there? Do you just want to keep going? I don't know. And that's the thing. This is now where I mentioned this on Wednesday in my podcast, is let's just relate it back to this podcast. I want to have a successful podcast. Do I know what that looks like in its entirety? No. Do I need to? No. Yes, a lot of these kind of concepts, people would say, yes, you should have a vision board and then you'll project. In saying that though, do I? Can I just say to myself, look, I will be successful and I am successful already, so then I am. And I mentioned the word quiddity, as in it is what it is. And I think it's very apt in this conversation because to me, it's more around getting to the point where you're actually looking at these things and acknowledge them and moving on than getting stuck in the minutiae of it. Because I know from personal experience where I've gone, okay, I need to examine, I don't know, this certain period of my life. I'll use it as an example, a certain period of my life. But then gone, well, how many times do I need to examine it to go, well, it already happened. So why am I examining it anymore? And this is what, a lot of these kind of self-help books or self-discovery books talk about, is that happened. Get on with it. It doesn't matter anymore. And why are we giving? And it is a very interesting mind shift when you go, this happened or ABC happened in my life, but it happened 20 years ago or 30 years ago, whatever. Why are you giving it that quantum energy, if you want to go there, and letting time and space be taken up with that when you're now in 2024 on the 23rd of June? This is the thing. These are the topics that, like, at the moment for me, I'm really very much absorbed in. And I know that I feel I need to be absorbed in them because for some reason, for whatever reason, no, how am I going to word this? For the reason for what it is, it's working in the sense of changed. I have. So, and it's not like I just want to suddenly, go, in one aspect, you kind of like, and it does again, these type of books are like, oh, now that you've learnt the way, you teach everyone else the way. It's not even about that. It's kind of like, when you see other people suffering and you know that there's a different way that things can be done, I think that's what it comes back to, just human nature and empathy for your fellow man, because you'd be like, well, why are you doing that to yourself when you could be doing this? And then, is it just about empathy, or is it just that, you know what that feeling of suffering is and you don't want anyone else to suffer? Oh, sorry, I'm just watching people walk past my house. Anyway. I don't know. But what I do know and recommend is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza is a really interesting, knowledgeable exploration of not only quantum entanglement and quantum energy, referencing human behavior. And it's very well written. I'll spit it out. Very well written book. It's something that I think I touched on this, where I started listening to this via Spotify as an audio book, and I stopped because I don't think audio gives it enough justice. You need to, for me, I highly recommend that you actually read the book so that you're actually absorbing what it's putting down into your mind. So I will tag the book into the description of this podcast because I highly recommend it. There is another book that I haven't read yet and I'm very much looking forward to reading. And I said to myself I wasn't going to start reading that until I finished this one. And I'm like, I don't know, how many pages? Some ridiculous. Basically, I'm at the end where it talks about the techniques in relation to meditation and, projecting that quantum energy into the ideals of what you want. There's a block there. I don't know why there's a block, but anyway, there is. It is what it is. So I really wanted to finish that off first before I started this other book, which I will do. And then I will absolutely 100% do another podcast in reference to surrendering and my own personal experiences around that in reference to this book, because these are subjects that are all very intertwined, which unless you're a dum-dum, you probably have figured out by now. So I think now that I am at 1:16, so an hour and 16 minutes, I might stop it there. So if you're interested, you can pick up Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself at most book outlets. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I know it is. I bought mine at an actual bookstore. You can buy it directly off his website. He has other books as well. There's another book I will read, which is a precursor to this book, which he recommends to read. So I will read that as well. I would also say to you that you can listen to the audio version, but again, like I would highly recommend you actually read it. I think, I don't know, there's that whole mental concept about actually reading physical words and hearing them audibly that become more resonant in your mind. You know, again, psychoanalysis, babble, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, so I would be very interested to see what you think. Like I said, at any time you can contact me anytime. Find my email address, which is info@thetequilahour.com.au. You can talk about this subject today, or if there's any other subject that you'd like my opinion on, reach out to me. You can, believe it or not. I know it's true. I do also, if we want to reference social platforms, Instagram is a platform that I use to promote my podcast. So I have the Tequila Hour Instagram page, again, all linked in the description of this podcast. I will also link other things like choice of drink today, which is the Roku gin from Japan. No. Anyway, thank you to don't jam Japan. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you to those who do listen and who you have and continue to do and take the time to listen to me ramble on about subjects like this, and hopefully they are of interest to you. And thank you to those, I will spit it out. Thank you to those who do actually take the time to download my podcast. And like I said, I'm very close to reaching a particular goal, and when I reach that goal, mate, it will be tequila ahoy. And I look forward to that, because it will happen. So thank you. And I think I'm going to leave it there today. So it is now 4:26 p.m. in Australia, in the secret location. Like I said, thank you to those who listen, and thank you to those who will download in the future. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Come see me tonight. Say you ain't got the time. I'm the last one you prioritize. Keeping your IG pictures on my phone. I won't spend another night at home. Okay, I'ma just be on my way. You see, I'm not the one you take for granted, babe. I know that life can be busy, love, but you make time for the ones you love. It's only right, it's what I deserve. Love, tell me what you've done for me, done for me, done for me, done for me lately. Did your mind go on vacation, leaving your affection for me at home? Tell me what you've done for me, done for me, done for me, done for me lately. Where's your heart and your attention? Where's the kind of love that I used to know? Baby, so can you take me on a date? The simple things you do to make me stay. Now it's like you don't even try. I used to wonder why, but now I'm left with no more tears to cry. I know that life can be busy, love, but you make time for the ones you love.